That Car Show is proud to partner with Drake Motorcars. Drake Motorcars is Denver's premier destination for exactly the kinds of vehicles that we like here at That Car Show. Think Velocity Broncos, Audi RS6s, Acura NSXs, and air-cooled Porsches. You can see their complete and constantly changing inventory at DrakeMotorcars.com and check out their amazing online reviews from all across the country. But our friends at Drake need your specialty car too. A sign of a good business is when there are more customers than inventory. So reach out to Drake too if you've got a great enthusiast car that just doesn't get driven like it used to. Find out more at DrakeMotorcars.com and let them know you heard about them on That Car Show. This week, better late than never, it's That Car Show live from the LA Auto Show. Lindsay, Michael, and I are joined by friend of the show, Jorge Aquino of Tormenting Tarmac, and we're hunkered down in a cubicle in the Auto Show Media Center. Show impressions, new car reveals, people watching, and general automotive shooting the shit. It's That Car Show. That Car Show is brought to you by Sheffield Watches. Sheffield is the storied watchmaking brand that was revived a couple of years back by our good friend Jay Turkbus, and it's seen wild success in both the car and watch enthusiast communities. Sheffield offers a wide selection of watches, many inspired by the iconic designs of its 1960s dive models, most notably the one that Jay's parents gave him in 1970, which ignited his lifelong passion for watches. Sheffield watches are high quality, reasonably priced, and a great value. Sheffield has truly become the car guy and car gal's watch of choice. Order your Sheffield watch at SheffieldWatches.com. Give them a follow on the gram at Sheffield_allsport_watches and tell them That Car Show sent you. Hey, it's That Car Show live from the LA Auto Show in Los Angeles, I guess.
That's right. LA. It could be the Louisiana Car Show, right?
That's right. That's a little
Just
different.
So we're clear, it is the Los Angeles Auto Show.
Yeah, we're in a locked room in the media center, but the walls only go up about 2/3 of the way, so everyone else can hear what we're doing here. But we're having a good time. So it's me. Dan had to get back to the museum, so Lindsay's here. Michael Lasasso, our fifth Beatle, our fourth That Car Show guy is here, and friend of the show, Jorge Aquino of Tormenting Tarmac.
Hey, kids.
It's good to see you. It's like we have a sound engineer tonight. I like this, you know. So
that's the nicest compliment you could give me, because Lord knows I have been doing my best to try and figure the fuck out sound. But thank you for having me.
We don't swear on That Car Show.
Nah. Sorry, what was that? 45 seconds
show,
in?
kids.
It's a family show.
Sorry, kids.
Well, it's been a fun day. We just got done with some box lunches. I got in.
The most exciting part.
I know. We get to pick.
What did you have?
Yeah, what did you have? Go
Right.
around the table here.
I had a Tuscan chicken sandwich and some salt and vinegar chips with a delicious chocolate chip cookie, and now I'm capping it off with a truly delightful latte, which is actually giving me life. And that's one of my favorite parts about Media Day is all of the treats like scattered throughout the convention center.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You've got a Sheffield watch on too.
I do have a Sheffield
Which
watch
Sheffield
on.
do you
It
have
is
on?
bright pink. I have the bright pink GT.
How many Sheffields do you have?
I think I have 9 at this point.
Nine.
Really?
I have quite a collection,
Yeah.
and I am dedicated to the brand, and
As
I
one
love them
should be.
so much.
Yeah.
But I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention our impromptu picnic lunch in the back of a beautiful Dodge cargo van. You know, thank you to Stellantis and Jeep for the wonderful box lunches. But yeah, we managed to find a little picnic spot and had our own little tailgate.
We did, but nothing good happens in the back of a white van, right? I felt like we were up to something nefarious. You know, we're trying to offload, Chinese speakers or something,
Right.
For the record, all the doors were open, so that I want to make sure that no one thinks that
Anything untoward
Yes.
is happening.
or we were planning anything other than just a meal.
Right, a jewel heist.
That's right. Those are in again. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah.
Again, for the note, the van was white with 0 windows.
Speaking of that jewel heist, our buddy RJ Munt, who works for Mercedes Trucks in Japan, he was very proud. He saw the footage. He said, "That's one of our trucks that they used." And apparently the company that made the lift or whatever actually put it in an ad immediately after, like talk about like viral marketing and all that. So the company made the boom or whatever that was.
Yes, I heard that they
on
had
the truck.
capitalized on the robbery of the Louvre, and they were like, "Well, we're here now. Like, we may as well capitalize on it."
Yeah.
Did they actually do the heist, and then it was just all a giant ruse? And so
Yeah,
they this could all just be viral marketing.
Can you imagine that marketing meeting? They're like, all right, just bear with me. Let me go through the whole plan before you share an opinion. They're like, so the Louvre.
They were all at the
Art
blue,
heist.
the blue and white blueprints,
Right.
you know, very much
Yeah.
like an 80s
They're
heist
like,
movie.
you know how we always talk about how our booms are super agile and quick?
Yeah.
We've thought of a very unique way to demonstrate that and get the world's attention.
Yeah.
So you guys want to hear something funny? Yesterday on my way in, so date of recording, today's the 20th. Yesterday would have been the 19th. So I'm driving in to LA from Phoenix. And so shout out to Zach Clapman of the Smoking Tire. He went ahead and released his second episode of this driver's test and whatnot. And so one of the questions that he's asking had to do with the first car that had been debuted at the Louvre. Mind you, this was hours prior to the Louvre being robbed that same day. And he had no idea. And it was hilarious. And I was like, that's perfect. Additionally, that week, I can't stress enough how much things happen in the world that to me came straight out of a freaking movie. Like, unbelievable. It was the Louvre being robbed, and then the FBI getting the NBA players on the gambling thing and stuff like that. I was like,
that was pretty
same
wild.
week.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, movie scripts are going to be on fire these next 2 weeks, homie. Like, it's going to be insane.
They say they take inspiration from real events, right?
Hey, there you go. I was
Yeah.
like, George Clooney, are you listening for Ocean's 14, bro? Like,
Ocean's 17 and a half.
Yeah. Whenever we get together, I feel like we're like scheming, right?
Yeah.
It's like summer camp whenever we get together. I just
Kinda.
feel like we're up to, especially we're in the back of a white van,
I was not part of that white van. I want to make that very clear.
But to be fair, Ryan was calling him and saying, hey, we're over in the back of the white van.
He did.
Come
I
here,
was
little
like,
kid. I have candy.
That's we just write free candy on the side like that. Yeah, that's
This is the last time we'll be coming to the LA Auto Show after this hits the airwaves.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we
at least Lindsay got a chance to go ahead and enjoy salt and vinegar chips. So that's all that matters.
That's right.
So if you hear crunching,
Yeah, that's what matters.
the cookies. They always have good cookies.
Yeah, the cookies.
at
I know,
the
they
LA
really
Auto
do.
Show. Last year they had these. We've been talking about them ever since. These frosted cookies that had the LA Auto Show in the frosting, the logo. Didn't have those this year, but they have some fantastic lemon cookies. But in any case, we all got in late last night, except for Mr. Lasasa, who lives here.
Right.
Jorge's in from Phoenix. I'm in from Denver, and Lindsay came down from Seattle.
That's right.
And Jorge was kind enough to pick me up in the legend that is the 2017 Kia Sorento.
Damn right.
From LAX. We're sharing a room at the Fairfield Inn.
Yes.
And where are we? Rosemead, LA.
And Rosemead, East
Yeah.
LA.
Rosemead,
Yeah.
California.
I
Yep.
looked on the map and it was like East LA.
Yeah.
So we got there. I was pleasantly surprised.
It was very nice. So
very decent.
Ryan looked at me. He's like, well chosen, sir. And I'm like, thank you. Because I was really freaking the hell out for about 2 seconds.
The shower
All
has
good.
the most powerful flow of any, like quite the opposite of most hotels. You go and you can't get in, you can't get
Right.
the soap in your hair. This thing was like a firehouse. I thought I blew out my eardrum when
Yeah.
I turned it on.
It was a full-on-
powerful.
Yep.
You feel like
It's
you're
like
in one of those
experience.
So you know, like,
hazmat
when-
showers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know when you're like in a hot tub and you all of a sudden get the power like
The
thing,
jets?
It was like a
The
jet.
jets? It was like that. Like,
Like the drain couldn't keep up.
honestly, it really couldn't. And like it was
or
it
it
was
was
probably
clogged with someone else's hair. But,
yeah,
That was a sink.
Details.
yeah, minor detail.
and like my hair was like so pressed down so fast. I was like, wow. Now I know what it feels like to go ahead and be someone who doesn't have
Well, so
crazy curly hair like I do.
We should say this is the first time I've actually met Jorge
Yes.
in person. Known the guy for like 3 years.
True.
He does have a tremendous head of curly locks.
Thank you.
Tremendous.
I, for one, am envious. But we should backtrack. So we
Yeah.
got in last night and we went, met Dan from
Yeah.
the shows, who's back at the museum now. But we got a quick tour at the Petersons.
Oh,
It's been a
God,
minute.
the new acid exhibit is fire.
It is. It really is. It's fantastic. And posted a reel and
He take you down in the vault?
No,
we
we didn't have enough time.
We didn't have enough time. We
But-
had to go in there literally. We'll get into that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm always disappointed when I walk in there and the Myers Manx Cafe is closed. That's always a highlight. But
I know, because the food is legitimately
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it actually is.
but you know what's better than the Aston Martin exhibit? The La Forza parked out in front. Do you all know what a La Forza is?
I don't.
Ryan was
Okay.
geeking.
So you know when you're a
Geeking.
kid, like all of
Yeah.
us, we did this. We maybe not you because you're young, but the three of us, I know, Lindsay, you're also young. Well, actually, I'm the oldest one here,
All right.
but
I'm
we
just
used to-
I'm just
we used
pulling
to
the
read
wool over
magazines.
everyone's eyes.
Yeah, we used to pour over these magazines,
Yes.
right? and like Rob Report, DuPont Registry or whatever. And they would always have these cars that, like the G-Wagon, before they imported them to the States, right? They came to this place in New Mexico called Europa, right?
Yep.
But another sort of just weird vehicle of the time was this thing called La Forza, which I think is built on an Iveco truck chassis.
Huh.
But then, so it's a big thing.
Yep.
It's like a Tahoe-sized vehicle, but it's, it's Italian. So it's got like that Maserati tufted leather, the dash clock, that kind of thing. And I don't know if I've ever seen one in the flesh in my life. And sure enough, there's one parked in front of the museum, just like the day it rolled off the factory
Oh, wow.
floor. Just
But do you know what
fantastic.
drives that?
I
It's a
don't
5-liter Ford.
That's
Really?
right. And they had a
It's a-
supercharged version
it's a-
even, didn't they?
So they couldn't obviously develop their own powertrains, and this is, mid-late 80s. So it was just your run-of-the-mill Ford GT 5-liter. It may have had the old school Cobra GT manifold on it,
Mhm.
but it's literally like people that have owned them, at least a couple people I've known in LA that either worked on them or dealt with them.
Yeah.
And they're like, they'll run forever because it's pretty much a
Interesting.
Ford.
Yeah.
And a lot of even the suspension pieces,
Yeah.
there's a switch gear. It's old 90s Ford stuff. The rest of it's going to fall apart because it's made in
Yeah,
Italy,
yeah, yeah.
and it's going to rust, and it's going to do all the other things. You
Yeah.
can't, the windshields are impossible to get, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But the drivetrain, you could go from here to the moon on.
I was more excited to see that than,
Like all the stuff in the
yeah,
museum.
the 177 or whatever. But the other interesting thing about that is it looks like a lot of Neva, but that someone sort of like left like to soak too long, like a swollen. It's it's an odd thing.
I
But I just
hadn't thought
it's
about
something
that.
to behold. And,
And now you can't think of anything else.
Ate a little too much salt the night before.
I'd be
you know?
curious where they found that one because they're getting hard. Because again, they rust.
yeah,
they rust
were
out.
hard to
They-
find
They
then.
were hard to find. You see them occasionally around LA, and they're usually in general disrepair. Not just
Yeah.
because they everything rusts. You can't
Yeah.
get seals. You can't But that one was BMW had a design event at the Peterson last week, and I saw it there. Saw the
Yeah.
LaForza, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this seems like really really well maintained. Like who
Weird.
took care of
Yeah.
this?
Huh.
Because it's
So
not
do
part
we
of the
know how
museum's
many-
permanent collection, I don't believe.
How many they made originally? Like, obviously not
Could be
many.
too
I
many.
mean, there is Google, but we're not going to use it. Or,
No, it's-
we
or
gave
gi-
our
give them a
research
shout out.
assistant the
Yeah.
day
You
You
off.
mean we're not going to use the
yeah.
TCS research department?
Yeah.
Right.
Is that over at the museum
He's
right
not
now?
here at the
Okay.
moment.
We gave him
Gotcha.
the day off
Yeah,
because we
yeah,
were going to be at the
yeah.
show. So
Totally makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well,
Here
it
we
was pretty great to see, and then we headed over to the Alfa Romeo event.
Yes.
Is that where you're going to go, Michael?
No, real quick. I just want to say we are missing the point of like that's why you go to museums,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
you get to see the thing you never thought
Yeah,
you'd see,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and whether it's the unobtainable, like they have a McLaren F1 there,
Yeah.
and they do have the what is the new Gordon Murray?
Oh, the S1?
Oh,
yeah,
the McMurtry?
no,
Oh,
the
the SLR, the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren?
no,
You're talking about the Gordon Murray, the new
Gordon-
S1 that looks
that looks
basically
like
the
an F1,
2020,
yeah.
the current version of what looks like a McLaren F1.
right
That thing. Yeah.
that doesn't have a drivetrain, and you stick the steering wheel in the back end to steer it around, which
Yeah.
is lovely.
Yeah,
That's
that's pretty
you haven't seen that?
No.
So it doesn't.
That's
The
a
drivetrain
niche.
doesn't work. So
Uh-huh.
what they do is there's a small little keyhole in the literal back panel,
Yeah.
and so you put it in there, and it'll help you maneuver the car for display purposes.
I
So you
love
can
it.
like drive it from the back.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
where I'm going with this
Kinda
is,
looks like a cat's ass, at the right angle. Yeah,
but going to a museum, any museum, art, cars, whatever, you get a chance to see that thing that's either inspiring
yeah.
or you've never seen before, or is just kind of an
You're-
oddball.
You're right.
And that's what's beautiful about that place,
And
and yeah.
Again, needless to say, there's probably never going to be a La Forza retrospective in the way that there was the
What?
Aston Martin.
Well,
I
I
mean-
think that could be our first event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to plan like
Sponsored by that car show?
the Unobtainium event.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's how
a
Ryan
great- What
gets
else
into.
would be in that?
That's a
Yeah.
theme. That's a theme for a collection. Like we always talk
Yeah.
about, like what would your theme be? And
Yeah.
I joked like, oh, the unexpected manual collection,
Yeah.
or like we saw
Right.
the white collection, and then I think Haggerty just auctioned the
Auto
blue
blog.
collection.
This is
So
for
it's
you
like-
guys. Whenever you decide to go ahead and make Ryan Barkey your respective editor in chief,
Right.
you just get ready for a La Forza collection coming out of straight out of Denver,
La
Colorado.
Forza's 24/7.
Right.
So if you build that collection on a La Forza, then
Yeah.
like what
Right,
comes
what's next?
after?
Oh,
that?
you're that's easy. You're looking at a McCure
There you go.
XKR1 or whatever
Yeah,
that was.
XK4 Ti.
XK4
Thank you.
Ti,
XK,
which was
yeah.
really just a Sterling back when
a
remember
Sterling
the-
827.
Yep,
yeah.
4-door Sterlings.
Yeah.
You I mean, yes, you can do an LMMO2 because you don't see that many,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because
Sure.
those
That
are
would be
like
the-
hen's teeth.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
jewel of the collection.
You're
You can
you're-
do a G.
Also one at the Peterson.
You could do a
currently.
G500 cab. Shout out to Doug Miro.
Yeah.
yeah. I've always had
Or
a thing
a
for those.
And Kendall Jenner.
an isogrifo, one of those.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
not too many of those.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Shout out to the Isuzu Trooper.
Or remember the Via Cross?
That's
Yes.
the one.
The Isuzu Via Cross,
that
yeah.
which
would
you
be in
still
there.
can find, but
Yeah.
the trick will be they cannot come in unless it's the Iron Man edition.
So what else goes in this museum of misfit cars?
I think Michael had a good idea.
Well, yeah. You have the Nissan Murano,
But
Cross something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that cabriolet as well.
Cabriolet,
Yeah.
cabriolet.
Mhm.
You got to have a Yugo, which I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
when I was in Boulder working at a tire store. That was our parts runner.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bulletproof.
Really?
I kid you
That's
not.
what I've heard.
Like
Really?
the whole car's falling apart.
Except
the
for
doors,
the cardboard doors.
yeah, the
but
doors are going to fall
it's-
apart.
yeah.
The hood's going to flap up. But
Yeah.
we drove the heck out of that car.
Yeah.
Abused it.
That's
It
amazing.
Yeah,
like the
that's-
Yugo actually held up, and they're coming back.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Well,
We're
I've
here in LA right now, but
No.
there was, and it wasn't. This is pre AI generated craziness, but yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Where are
I've
they at the
heard
car
that they're
show?
really good, and the trouble is you can't find parts. It's not the cars
right.
themselves necessarily;
Yeah.
it's maintaining them.
they rust out like Swiss cheese, but they run.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea, Peterson Museum. I wish we knew someone there who could maybe make that.
The
We'll
forgotten.
have to work
happen.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned the Alfa Romeo gathering last
Yes.
night, which
Yes.
was a lot
Continue.
of fun. So that was with our friends Haggerty Garage and Social up in Van Nuys, and 8C. Speaking of cars you never see, the Alpha 8C was
Oh.
Do you
there.
like that car? I feel. I
love
want to be
that.
careful how
I
I
know
say
it's
this,
built
but-
on a 360, right? A Ferrari 360, I think it is.
Is it because it's
Just
front
a
engine?
rebody. Oh no! So what would that be? What is that car
but
built on? It's built on a.
Can the average person who's really not paying attention as it's going down the road
Yeah.
tell the difference between an 8C and a 4C?
Yes.
It's
100%.
It's about twice the size.
No,
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
that's my point though. If you don't know anything,
Yeah.
they kind of look like similar cars.
I mean, it's a more
Kinda.
beautiful car than the
that's
4C.
the thing. So I'm
It's-
glad that you mentioned that because I went to their party and now I'm going to go ahead and shit on it. I've never thought that the AC is that good looking of a car. I think it's kind of overrated personally. That's just me.
I love it.
take.
I'm a sucker for those
Yeah.
Alpha wheels, those with the circular cutouts. You know,
the phone dial type.
the
wheel.
phone dial. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got
Yeah.
that
For
great-
those of us of a certain age who remember the rotary phones.
Yeah. I dig that thing. Ostensibly, it was, I think, to release a car that was released 2 years ago, but the 33 Stradale,
Mm.
which I think is built on another car. I think the Maserati MC12. But hell of a thing to look at. It was gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, it was neat
gorgeous.
because a lot of the people there brought their own Alphas.
Mm.
It was fun. It's a nice space, and ran into some friends of the show. It was a good time.
It's always
Um,
fun. And it's
got
always nice. I mean, we were talking earlier about how much we love the Giulias and
So good.
definitely would both add, we would each add one to our garages.
I think
like,
so.
should the opportunity present
I
itself.
think so. I think that that's a car that it's one of those cars they don't make anymore, but they did.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, and I always go back to, I knew at least 2 automotive journalists in LA that had them as their primary cars. And I always
That's
say,
right.
that's such a metric where they get to drive
Yeah.
so many cars all the time. So if it's a car they're willing to commit to for their lives, and their daily lives,
Yeah.
that says a lot about the car.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've heard the same thing about GT4s. Michael, when are you going to get a
What?
GT4? Jorge, what's
Hard
what's
pass.
brewing?
Hard pass on the
Hey,
GT4.
somebody needs to go ahead and sponsor the shit out of Tormenting Tarmac. Let me tell you that right now.
It's one of the things people have talked about, especially post COVID, was the death of the auto show. Right,
Yeah.
the auto show is
Yeah.
going away, and with that, you saw the loss of the events,
Yeah.
external events. It's nice this year, especially, to see the events that are going on. Scouts here.
Yep.
Slate is doing
Yeah,
something like.
yeah,
Not only are they showing up, but they're also doing the external stuff, which costs money,
absolutely.
which brings people in. And so maybe there's a hope that the auto show isn't dead
no,
for not just us in having our dreams met, but for the young people coming in.
Yeah.
They're going to do family time here this
Yeah.
weekend, and for the over Thanksgiving, whatever. So what is old is new again, and hopefully auto shows are not one of those things that go the way of the dodo.
Yeah. Well, not to go ahead and do a free plug for you guys, but I'm guesting on your podcast, so I'm happy to do it for you. But you guys had a fantastic interview a few weeks ago with Andy. I'm forgetting his last name.
Steinhauser.
Steinhauser.
Yeah.
Yes, of the
Thank
auto
you.
show.
Of
Yeah.
the LA Auto Show, and
Yeah.
obviously, he spoke so highly of wanting to go ahead and bring that prestige back.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I didn't know what exactly to go ahead and expect when I came in this morning, and when I had an idea.
This is your first
Right,
LA
because
Auto
you've-
show.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was supposed to be here last year with you guys, and then,
Right.
well, we already know the story behind that. My point being is, Ryan and I got a chance to go ahead and come yesterday, as they were setting up, because we went to go ahead and shout out to my friend Callie Maldavon, who you got a chance to meet yesterday. She's working with Pure PPF here in the LAOC area. So I have a stand downstairs, which we're hopefully going to get a chance to go check out later. And she brought a couple of the cars. And Ryan and I are looking around, and the setup, like, it was way different than was up here where we are with, you know, the manufacturers.
They call this the underground.
The underground.
Yeah.
And the underground was sick as hell, man.
Yeah.
Like, we saw the lowriders and stuff like that. That was so cool. That we saw a Ferrari F8 in this ridiculous like
spec.
spec yellow with the blue roof, with the blue seat, with the blue wheels. It was that full on University of Michigan spec. Like, that's what that was.
Well, now I can't unsee that.
But it was, though. It really much was. And so, like, when I came in this morning and I looked in, we went through the convention center and whatnot. It took us 19 hours to find Lindsay, Dan, and Michael. But it was really, really cool to go ahead and walk in and be like, oh, man, yeah, this layout is kind of rad, because it's not like anything else that you go to. And again, maybe it's because it's media day, but I do find the vibe. Lindsay, you and I were talking about this earlier when we were coming over here and whatnot. I got this vibe of like, yeah, it's business. Yeah, it's LA, but there's a vibrancy to it. And I really, really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see. I mean, it's always nice to come to Media Day because there are the nice little touches with the coffee stands and the refreshments and all that stuff. And you have a good concentration of the automotive media, both from LA, but also people travel like yourself.
And
Nationally and internationally, yeah.
Yeah. And it's, you know, and it's there's an excitement, even if auto shows are on, like, they've been on a downswing in terms of like manufacturers coming to them. There are still reveals. Like, we got to see the Kia Telluride revealed today, the new one. Yep. You know, and so there's still excitement, and, you know, and it's, I remember coming to the auto show as a child with my grandfather. And then, you know, when I was in college, that was a thing to do with my friends. And it's one of the great ways to get up close to these cars.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, for car people, that's Mecca.
Yeah. I think it seems very vibrant. I
But
mean,
LA specifically, I don't know where it started, but they scheduled this around Thanksgiving for families, and for many, many years. I mean, I don't know since the beginning. I can't speak to that, but it's always been something that some families do pre-Thanksgiving, post-Thanksgiving, as you know, as a.
It's a family tradition, like Thanksgiving weekend. That's one of the things you do because it's a long weekend and it's fun. And I, you know, at least in the past, when people would come when they were shopping for a car and most of the manufacturers were here, it was a low stress way to check the cars out with your whole family. And like, especially if you have kids, like, that can be really stressful to go to a dealer lot. You feel kind of pressed, and this was a way to explore, and they wanted you to get up close and climb all over the cars and check them out. You can still do that. It's just not as many manufacturers right now. But like you said, Michael, I think that maybe that's going to keep growing, hopefully.
I mean, there are only a handful of emissions, right, that, you know, I saw, but
I think the list is bigger this year. I think for
Ford here? Ford's not. Okay.
We just haven't, and I heard that I heard their booth is fantastic, so we need to go check that out after this.
All right, we'll go check that out. Is there anything in particular that impressed you guys, like, really? Because you just mentioned Kia. I feel like the Hyundai Genesis area was actually, they had some great stuff over there.
Yeah, they had the Magma, the orange car.
The new Magma.
The reveal today.
I mean, that's a fantastic name. Can we just like
it is. I'm surprised it has been used before by like a Mustang or something.
Magma.
Right?
The Mustang Magma edition. Dun dun dun. I know.
And then Hyundai had this like cool like off. You know, I think Ryan, you said that there was like a really big overlanding presence earlier this morning and whatnot, but which is cool because I also feel like that's just the vibe of the last couple of years. Everybody's doing overlanding stuff, but Hyundai had this. Right next to the Ioniq 6, they had this like off-roading concept, which now I'm blanking on the name, but it was really cool. And I'm like, Hyundai, if you guys build this, like, God bless you, because you guys are really taking it to a different level. And I told you this the other day, actually this morning when we were coming in, and I'm not just saying this because I own a Kia. I'm not, and trying.
Wait,
actually,
you
no.
do? What?
No, actually, and it was you and I who were having this conversation earlier this morning, Michael.
It's his Tiguan. Yeah, that's.
No, but in all sincerity, for anybody who thinks to themselves, Hyundai and Kia is one of those brands that is still, you drive that, you don't know what you're talking about anymore. Because I think that they're better than half of the manufacturers out in the world right now. And I'm not just saying that because I actually happen to own one of the ones that is older. So I'm talking about the new ones. Like
We drove. You weren't there, but we drove the. Is it the? What is it? The six?
The
Yeah, the EV6.
EV6
the GT6
Yeah.
EV.
Yeah.
The
Could
Kia.
have used a little more GT.
Right.
But it was a great car. It drove as well as any of the other EVs.
Really
you know?
nice. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got to Michael and Ryan and I got to drive that this morning. And it was it caught my eye because the color is very similar to Maritime Blue, the Porsche color, which is
Yeah.
one of my favorite colors. So
Yeah.
I was already, looking at it favorably before we got in.
Yeah.
And yeah, the interior was a really cool, like kind of cream and black, like which was very striking, and it had, nice interior lighting. I thought the layout was very intuitive, and the interior was easy to adjust. All the things that you need to adjust before you take off, obviously, and I thought it had good pickup for what it's designed to do. And Michael and I were remarking on how much cargo space there actually was. So it would be
Cargo space.
Yeah.
actually functional cargo space. And I know that our vehicle host said he'd done some long road trips in it, and it had been
What was his name? Shout out to him.
John.
John.
Yes.
I think he was the best vehicle host we've had.
John.
Maine. John from Maine.
When was the last time you met someone from Maine? there's
Where
your
is Maine
point.
again? Is that a Canadian province?
Might as well
One
be
of those
Nova
maritime
Scotia.
provinces.
Go with North America. Yeah.
No, Jorge brings up a really good point, though. I think the thing that is missing in the world, by and large, and I'm not trying to get political or anything, is there's a lot of color here. Like Lindsay pointed out, this blue on this Kia was a very attractive blue.
Yeah.
But when you go out into the world, you don't see those cars.
Right.
They have the Mustang GTD here, of course, and it's stunning.
Yeah.
But in the corner, they have a regular style. It's probably a V6 Mustang
Sure.
in such a beautiful like teal.
Yeah.
And I photographed it, like on my phone. And I have a Samsung 24, so not the latest and greatest, but you think you get these great images through the phone. And honestly, it doesn't photograph as well as it looks in person.
It doesn't
do
do
it justice.
Yeah.
And what's nice about what you're seeing, Jorge, to your point about what's going on is what impressed me personally, is you're seeing color in cars again.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not just matte.
yeah,
They're not
yeah.
fancy matte
Yeah.
paint jobs.
Yeah.
They're not all
the
just shades
the
of
blue
black.
on the
It's-
Ioniq 6N was
so that
straight
whole
gangster.
Setup.
Yeah.
Those cars look so great.
It begs the question, and obviously, they're yes, you want something to pop because you're at an auto
Yeah,
show, but why are they not showing people that more? I mean, you brought up the orange. Like, get those into the hands of the customer so that you don't get lost in a parking garage between the silver car, the black car, and the white car at every mall and every shopping
At every
mall or
Disneyland
drugstore.
parking lot, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a like it's been reported on in the last couple of years, like the decline in cars that are a color not white, silver, and black,
Yeah.
because the cost of the pigment went up so much that the manufacturers just went like volume wise, we can't do it. And I think that's also why you've seen the rise in like charging for a color, the markup on that.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, when you look back at like the 50s and 60s, it was these super cool, like teal and white, or you had these amazing, like look
We're
at
seeing the two tones again too, the combinations, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, the ID Buzz is an exception, but unfortunately they haven't sold as well. But they are an example of color in the modern marketplace.
At least in LA, they're selling so poorly. I don't know if it's still a deal, but if you go and buy an ID Buzz, they actually have an allotment, a dealer allowed allotment for you to wrap it.
There you
They'll,
go.
they'll wrap it for you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because what's showing up are whites and blacks and silvers, and people are like, I don't really love it enough to buy it. And they're offering at least there was, I don't know if it's still the case, they're offering you money. You didn't get to take the money, but they're like, we'll wrap it in any color you want at the dealership.
I just have to say this. I find it very convenient that you and Lindsay are giving Troy more ammunition than he already needs. Hi, Tori. What's up, brother? That's for my guy.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's
not,
a sweet motherfucker.
Not just exteriors.
He's the sweetest. I love that guy. I'm not.
I
Just
do too.
I know. I'm sure you do.
It works out.
For obvious reasons.
We hope so.
Did you call him Troy?
Yeah.
Yes, it's purposeful.
That was
okay.
when we were on. He said something about Troy, and then later
I congratulated
I'm
him.
Who's
and I
this
called
other
him-
man?
right.
in your
I'm
life?
like, do you think Tori's
Lindsay?
gonna get upset when he learns about Troy?
No, I hope he knows that I do it out of love now.
It's not just the exterior colors too. There's some really great colors in interiors. Somehow, I guess we're starting to talk about the trends of the show. So that's what
Yeah.
we call this section,
Yeah.
like what the
So
things we're seeing.
Either the trends, or more importantly, what should be pushed out more to the public.
We'd like to see
That-
Well, because I don't think people know about it, right?
Yeah.
You walk on a lot and all you see is 3 colors, and so if you need a car, or you just want a car, and that's what you buy. Whereas if you had options, I think people would absorb more of these if they even knew about them.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. But that Genesis, that blue,
Oh,
I know.
Dark,
I
what
was
do you
gonna
call
say.
that blue?
Talk about the dark blue and the
no,
jean.
it was kind of the lighter blue.
it's sort of like a
It's
dusty
the blue of
metallic.
these, well,
we're on
almost a
radio
powder.
live.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
know.
what that was. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's
So
just
if
like
you haven't
these,
picked up, this
and
isn't
then
a video
silence.
show. Yeah, that's
Something blue.
Just picture something
it's
blue.
a very nice blue. It's a very
Yeah.
pleasant blue.
Well, it's
and,
kind of like a
almost
dusty
China blue
metallic
or
ocean
yeah.
water. Like, I mean, really pretty. And I think, speaking of trends and color, actually, we've seen a lot of blue interiors, which is something I
Yeah,
remember,
uh-huh.
as a child, like the navy velour interior that
Sure.
Cadillacs from the 80s had,
Yeah.
which is just
Yeah.
iconic, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think we went through a long period of time where it was unusual to see a blue interior, and we've seen at least 4 on the show floor.
Yeah. No, and very shout out to Genesis. I think they're just killing it with some of their cars.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Hyundais, the N-Spec cars.
Yeah.
Look good. Even the Nissan Leafs, the EVs,
Oh, yeah.
the Leaves
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
out front.
Whatever Michael was photographing, where you made
Those
the comment
are-
of
those are-
like, "Hey, they might be going broke, but they still know how to spec a car." I think
Yeah,
was
it
it
was
a
so good to
Nissan
see.
Kick
It was-
or whatever that was?
Oh, the fluorescent yellow one?
Yeah, that was
which
like-
was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right in your
So
face.
cheerful.
Yeah.
It's a color, and
Yeah.
I, we.
Well, when you're running out of money, you have to be cheerful. But yes, no disrespect to Nissan. I love you.
I don't know. I think if people saw these cars out, if listen, having worked at a dealer years ago and understanding, you got to plan ahead and you're planning for
Yeah.
what people buy in your neck of the woods, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons not to buy colors, but there was a time. A prime example is for a long time, Chevy dealers. If you were a high enough volume Chevy dealer, Chevy would sell you cars and trucks in any array of color, like in a wide array of colors that you wanted, so long as you
Yeah.
bought so many of them, like
Yeah.
a limited, a minimum number of them, and call it what it is like it's bespoke without having to be bespoke, and you're not just
offer
they could-
variety to people and make it easy for people.
and it's just too easy to say people don't. There's no uptake because they complain like manuals, right? Everybody's like, there's
Yeah.
not enough uptake on manuals to do manual transmissions anymore. The problem is that people either don't know that there's a manual
Yeah.
option, or they just use that as a reason. Lindsay, to your point about dollars and cents,
Right.
because it's just
Well, it's chicken and the egg
Yeah.
a little bit, because obviously demand drives that too. But you're right. Like if you get to the point where that's all that people are offered is this, 3 neutral non-colors, then if you do that long enough, people start to forget. But to your point, there was a Chevy truck in the late 90s on the lot at the dealership near where I grew up, and it was a single cab, step side short bed, and it had the most spectacular, actually, I think Ryan used a word that I like, tremendous. It was the most tremendous paint job, and I don't know the story. All I could guess was that it had been custom ordered, but now knowing that the dealers could bring them in, it was forest green and bubblegum pink
Oh, wow.
with this amazing, the stripes. It was the most
It's like you're
intricate
gutting a
design.
trout or something.
Yeah, the first time, and it was prominently displayed on the lot,
Yeah.
and they had it for like a year
Huh.
sitting out there. And
Oh, I
so
bet they did.
right, I know. Amazing that people weren't clamoring for it. But
Yeah.
again, like I think about it regularly. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a tremendous paint job.
Can I
Tremendous
call
is
out
the-
some hypocrisy real quick? And I'm going to call out hypocrisy on my behalf, but I'm also going to call it out on behavior on the behalf of a multitude of enthusiasts. I think that there are a lot of people, myself included, who crap on manufacturers for choices they make. And then the only people that can go ahead and make said changes are, to the extent, the board of whatever manufacturer it can be, but also the general public itself. I think that enthusiasts and just people who like cars to some extent need to do a better job of using their money better in terms of buying what they say that they supposedly like.
Oh, well,
You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
reason I say that
includes
was
colors. Yeah.
it includes colors.
Yeah.
It also includes models.
Sure.
We had the pleasure of talking with Subaru earlier today.
Yeah.
We're fans of the STI. You guys chose to go ahead and cut it out of the lineup. Why? Because we thought that it sold really
Yeah.
well. It brings up to the point. It's like everybody who complained about the STI, myself included, being gone, could have done something about it by maybe
Well,
just
that's the thing.
buying
If they were
car.
selling enough of them, the car would still be around. You made a
Yes.
great point, though, too. There's a math that we're not even privy to, and
Yes.
that's that
Right.
for them to even be able to sell an STI, they have to sell, say, 5 Foresters or whatever,
Yes.
right?
Carbon footprint needs to go ahead and be
Yes,
taken care
so
of.
the things that we don't even think about,
Right.
Subaru had a great display as always.
Project
gorgeous.
Midnight is here.
Yeah, it's
Very excited about that.
they had a yellow WRX down there, which
Very
I
nice.
don't know if that's coming back or if that was just a one-off or whatever. That was great to see. Not sure why that ever went away.
I would
in the
hope that if it came
WRX.
to the auto show, then that means that it is a,
I'd hope so.
a color
I'd
that's
hope
going to be
so.
available for
I
2026.
hadn't
Again,
realized-
what color?
Well, but then you have, but
Yeah.
I'm worried. You get a little worried sometimes because at SEMA they had the Yuzu edition
Isn't that a bean?
Toyota GR86.
It's a fruit. I
It's a
think.
fruit.
It's stunning. It's
Yeah.
going into production. It's like, but it's a final edition, and it's called the Yuzu edition.
Okay.
And it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful, kind of yellowy, whatever.
Huh.
But do you run in, Jorge? To your point, do we run into a situation where, much like PTS on Porsche or whatever, they just get ADM to death and stuck in a corner? Like they don't.
yeah.
The uptake isn't there.
Yeah.
To your point,
Yeah.
because then it's either you have the money to buy that special thing because it's one, all of the Chargers and Challengers and the last calls that they did and all the crazy colors, and someone's got the one of one,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they never want to drive it, and it sits in the corner, or it collects dust, or they want $50,000 over sticker for it, and so just make them available. Make
Yeah,
as many,
yeah.
make as very much to Jorge's point. Make as many as you can sell.
Yeah,
Sell them all.
Yeah.
I don't need a plaque on the dash. Sell them all. Make them all the rainbows of the colors of the rainbow. And I think I think dealerships and manufacturers would be surprised that people will want their product if they make their product
Yeah,
desirable
yeah.
and they make their product available.
Well, that's
That
it's-
is,
it's
oh my
true.
God, you're
Like,
preaching to the
That's
choir,
one
bro.
of the biggest
Amen.
takeaways for me, though, is I think manufacturers are taking chances. There were colors on Forerunners, right?
Yeah.
Also, when did a Forerunner become a $72,000 proposition?
It was bound to happen, bro.
I mean, my God, that's a TRD, I know, but
Yeah.
I see them everywhere in Denver. And in my head, we were talking about this earlier, Michael, I think there's still $40,000 vehicles in my
Sure.
head, right?
That's really
In
they
my
haven't
should
been
be.
40,000 vehicles for like 20
Oh, I'm sure,
years.
I'm
That's
sure
the thing.
I'm sure
Yeah.
not. I'm
The
sure
90s
not.
was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's a lot of.
You're telling
It
me.
may be 2025, but we're living in 1995.
Welcome to the 90s.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm
I give
6 years old
Ford
again.
some credit for the color
Yeah.
thing with the Bronco
Yeah.
and some of the
Uh-huh.
retro liveries and that thing
Oh, they
too.
have some
Maybe it all
amazing
started with
liveries.
Porsche though, and to your point, paint to sample and all that. Does that mean Porsches are all going to go back to black and silver now? I don't know.
I don't
Because
think we have to worry about that. If you look at the enthusiast community, I mean, look at the number of people that have a rainbow collection of their own.
it's true.
You know,
Did you see that there was a chart I think I passed around to the team a few weeks back that showed the numbers of paint to sample cars for Porsche over the years, right? And how it's it's cyclical, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
early on, it was pretty popular, and then it was not popular at all, and then now it's blown up bigger than ever. But I don't know. Maybe it's a reflection of the times. We need a little sunshine in our lives. I don't know, but
I think it's like anything. You have trends, and like you
Yeah.
said, like when it's new, that's the new hot thing,
Yeah.
and then people
Yeah.
kind of get oversaturated with it, and it's kind of goes back the other way, and then. Once people get a breather from it, they're like, "Hey, wait! There's all these amazing colors." To
Yeah.
Michael's point, like
I think Porsche's a hard one to talk about
Yeah.
because, special wishes and all the stuff that the average Porsche person, even back in the 80s and 90s, either
Yeah.
didn't have access to or didn't
Yeah.
know about. And then now when you see some of the prices
yeah,
for some of these colors, because when you look at what, Jorge, to your point, where our enthusiasts are putting their money, especially
Yeah.
in the secondary market, when you have that Imola yellow BMW or the, the Estoril blue, whatever.
sure.
Those are the cars that'll demand sometimes a multiple,
Yeah,
but at least
yeah.
a 20, 30, 40, 50%
Sure.
premium. If conditions the same, if the mileage is the same, people will spend up for color in the secondary market.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't, again, back to Jorge's key point, which I completely agree, put our money where our mouth is as
Yeah.
far as if we want this to survive, if we want these things, it's your local restaurant, it's your
Yeah.
local watering hole, it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't go in there and spend your money, they're not going to be around. And then you can't come back and say, oh, Jarn, I really love
yeah.
Dave's
Which
Bar
you
and
see
Grill.
all the-
You can't be shocked
all
when they
the-
go out of business.
all
Well, where
the-
the hell have you been the last 20 years?
That's what all these restaurant owners say when they're interviewed on the news, right? As they're closing up the shop last day, But it's absolutely the same mentality, Other takeaways from the auto show.
yeah.
What are you seeing? Like trends? Like what are they
Well,
pushing? What's
like this is a brief mention, but there's a vintage Bronco across from the Kia stand, and it's in an amazing teal color. So that was really fun to see.
yeah,
Lindsay talking about a
and-
Bronco. Who would have thought?
I know, everybody take a drink. But
Cheers.
one thing that was an amazing surprise, and I think a good chunk of our audience will be thrilled to hear this, was when we went to the Volkswagen display.
Yeah.
And the Volkswagen bus that survived
That's
the
right.
Palisades fire
Yeah.
is actually here.
Super sick.
It has been restored by Volkswagen. We knew that was happening.
Yeah.
But I didn't think we were going to get to see it in person. And it's like, what a joyful, reappearance.
If you don't know, this is the iconic van that somehow stayed pretty nice as the world, around it was engulfed. So, I mean, either that was, one hell of a.
I think we've all seen that picture on social media of because especially it didn't hurt that the bus is the tradition, like iconic vintage, bright turquoise with a white top. And so it stood out against the burned neighborhood even more.
Yes.
And then
in Southern California. And I mean, it was a really sort of iconic shot.
So they have a giant copy of that picture blown up on the poster, like on the display behind the bus, and then the bus itself is here, having been restored by Volkswagen. So that was really cool. That's obviously that's a something old and burned is new again. And we got to drive the Lucid Gravity.
Yeah.
So last year, one of the things that has stuck with me from last year's auto show was driving the Lucid Air,
the sedan.
And that was a car. That was one of the few cars I've gotten in, and it was like instantly fell in love with it. I felt right at home. It was just so delightful to drive, and it felt intuitive and very comfortable. And so this year we had the chance to drive the Gravity, which is, I would have called it a minivan, but they were calling it an SUV.
Yeah, can't call it a minivan.
No, we can't.
It has no gravity.
Right.
Okay.
We will be here for the rest of the day.
There were more laughs, but we're passing around 3 microphones with 4 people, just for the record.
You're like, I promise it was a good joke. Just trust me. Trust me.
We're going to edit in a laugh track.
I think I should have set that up on the recorder if I really wanted to. Yeah.
And it had massaging seats, which I don't remember the Air having. Maybe they just weren't on, but they were delightful.
Not as delightful as the shower over at the Mount Hotel, but I got you.
Apples and oranges.
That was borderline violent, if you want to be honest. Like, I had to prepare him so he wouldn't, injure anything. Like, watch where that thing's aiming when you turn that flow on. But I really liked that car too, and in a way that I thought it was. Michael, you mentioned that it seemed a little homebrew in places, but compared to one of those early cars that we had driven way back when, this thing seemed really finished. I don't know. I dig it. It has a little bit of the handcraftedness,
but in a good way. I mean,
I liked it.
We got to drive 2 of them. We were trying to see the different trim levels, but we ended up in 2 Tourings. They have a Grand Touring here, but that one was occupied. I really liked. They had the wood grain like they've had in other cars, and I really liked that most of the roof is glass. Like it made it very expansive.
Yeah.
And I think the Air accelerated more quickly, but that makes sense given the type of car. Still lovely to drive, and they have a bit of a squared off steering wheel, which I hadn't experienced before, and I really liked it.
I liked it too. I didn't mind it at all. It just it added to that sort of airiness of the interior. It felt like an elevated space to be in. I really liked the interior design, kind of a Scandinavian, sort of like in the vein of Tesla, but I think elevated again,
but better.
But better. And the materials were nice, and it's just I really again. Is a proposition to put my hard-earned money on? I don't know, but place to
if there was ever a time to lease a Lucid, it's right now. The lease deals are ridiculous in the best way, and I think it's a good car. They still have some growing pains that they're going through and whatnot. But again, hypocrisy, and not from us, just in general. Just you want a better car. That's not to take a shot at Tesla, but this is not a shot at them. I'm saying. You want an electric vehicle that's not built by Tesla. And then there's other options out there. And then you see them and then you still don't go for it. And it's like the proposition is right there. You can get a Lucid Air at like $600 a month with however much down and whatnot.
I mean,
it's a lot of car.
It's a lot of car because that's basic. I mean, what was MSRP for an Air Sapphire when it first came out? It wasn't like 100. No, it was over 200. It was over 200.
Was it that high?
Yeah.
But it was also 1,000 horsepower or something too. Right?
You know what? Honestly, it may have been 185. My point being is it was definitely over 150. And then for you to be able to go ahead and get it on a lease deal at like 600 or 600 and change or whatever. No. Maybe $3,000 down
with half the horsepower or whatever.
I mean,
still,
I've driven a service the service vehicle that they had over at the Phoenix location, and it had what is equivalent of 800 horsepower. It's the second most fastest accelerating vehicle I've ever sat my ass in.
It's compelling,
Yeah.
but there's so much competition. You look at the Scouts that were right next to
Yeah,
it, and the Scout that's a good looking thing in my eyes. I really like the vintage vibes, but yet it looks modern.
It puts a smile on your
Am
face.
I going to go in and get a Lucid over a Scout, for example?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know because we don't know how much those are going to cost.
Right.
But,
We're going to go find out.
We're going to
shortly.
find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. And that's really, there's so many just excellent cars right now.
Yep.
We're kind of splitting hairs, we're kind of like, what does it for you?
Right.
Getting into that Kia, that EV6 GT after the Lucid was shocking because, it was a very competent car. The quality of the plastics in the interior bits were about 3 steps below what we had just experienced in Lucid, so.
Which tracks, like, if you had to guess ahead of time, you would have said, yeah, I'm expecting the Lucid to be at this
Sure.
level. I'm expecting the Kia
What's important to you?
Yeah. Well, and I think, we were commenting, like, I think it was a great way to drive, like, the order to drive them and to drive them right next to each other or one after the other, because it was a very direct comparison.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like Michael and I were looking at the cargo space, having just looked at the cargo space in the Gravity. And like you said, like, the headroom in the Kia was much tighter. The passenger envelope.
Well, I also feel like
airy.
is the EV6 as a total? Is it a just smaller car than
It is.
Than the Air?
It is
Okay,
too.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
just wondering.
Yeah.
So it was like the Gravity just shrunk.
Yeah.
Kind of
yeah.
tight in the back.
Yeah.
But hey, what was that Honda bicycle delivery
So
cart?
it's called the Fast Port.
Okay. It's kind
And
of.
I am, because like we said, we've given our research assistant the day off. So I am filling in for them.
It's kind
So-
of. What would you describe? It's like a what's the not a
rickshaw.
rickshaw?
It looks like
It's a rickshaw
rickshaw.
with storage in the back.
Yeah.
With like double, like the cargo box is like double the height of a rickshaw, and it looks like, an ice cream
It's a
truck.
narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a new business venture focused on the last mile delivery market using
Okay.
a modular electric quadricycle called the E-Quad.
Okay.
And it's in the fleet as a service fast model. And it's providing not just the vehicle, but also a full ecosystem, including swappable batteries, cargo boxes, maintenance, and a software platform. But what we all kept remarking about, because their test drive area was right by where we passed with the Kia.
Yeah.
And what was so interesting is the body position kept catching our attention, because you sit sort of vertically, like you're very
Akimbo,
up
I
and
think, is the
down.
word
Yeah.
we've used in the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the people were definitely focused down, and we're not sure if they were looking at their feet because of the pedal position or if there's a screen.
Very awkward.
But a lot of people, I think part of the issue is their test area is not
congested.
It's in competition with the turning radius of the fast.
Well, would you want to be
Turn-Us.
taking any pedaled vehicle in LA traffic downtown? So I think it's more of a safety issue.
Because I think a lot of people were getting hung up trying to back it, do a
Yeah,
3-point
yeah.
turn on
What-
this bicycle, rickshaw, ice cream
Yeah.
truck, body hauler.
Yeah, you get ice cream
Someone getting
melting
run
in
over
there.
is not great PR.
No.
So
Yeah.
we're combined to
What's the point of the pedals, though? Like, where do those factor? Like, if it's got a powertrain anyway,
Well,
like, is this just? I mean,
I don't know.
Is the
It's
delivery guy looking
well,
for a
but
little
then at
extra
that point, you're probably
exercise?
looking
Like,
at cost, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're probably looking at it's not fully electric,
I
so it's
see.
going to cost less. So it's basically
Okay.
like a for people that don't want to Google it, and you don't definitely need to. It's basically like an electric bike with a big cargo box on the
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
It's this type of stuff that we were saying earlier Peter Parker would have been using to deliver pizzas in Spider-Man 2.
Hashtag Marvel.
Yeah. Hashtag haven't seen that film.
Hashtag I love Tobey Maguire. By the way, can I just comment on something really quickly? Oh, shout out to Genesis. Oh, thank you, Genesis. You're very kind. They just thanked me for going to their stand
Nice.
on Instagram.
I was going to say, this is veering into, like, if you guys
Yeah,
have
but
seen
do you get a
Megamind
car?
or,
I
like,
thought
Yeah.
AI already knew what we were talking about
I
in
know,
this
right?
episode.
they're
No.
like, we heard you like the such and
Yeah.
such. May we offer?
Yeah. By the way, can I just comment on Los Angeles traffic for just 1 minute? Because it's abysmal.
We sailed in. What are you talking
Yeah,
I was
about?
going
right.
to say, I heard you guys had an LA miracle of a
Yeah.
drive in this
Oh,
morning.
this
from our
morning it was.
Hotel in Barstow here was like 32 minutes.
No,
I
but
know.
we were trying to go ahead and get to Van Nuys last night, and thank God DP is an absolute absolute gent. But the amount of stuff that you and I saw on the way to the Peterson and on the way over to Van Nuys yesterday,
We didn't even go through San Bernardino.
dude, it was atrocious. Just the driving of some individuals in this city you wonder
pretty bad, LA.
how is this is this the Mecca
You
of-
out of towners? Get out of here.
Rubes, simple things.
I mean, like really, it's like people seeing electricity for the
I
first
know,
time.
right? No, I mean, I've come out here so many different times.
Yeah.
I've driven in the city so many times, but it makes you wonder how in tarnations this is the Mecca of car culture in the United States when people drive as abysmally as they do, in particular in downtown Los Angeles. Like, it was ridiculous.
Is this like a tell me you're not from LA without telling me you're not from LA?
That's really what it is. It's
We aim to deliver a very engaging, unique experience every time.
That's right.
yeah.
And, you just got to
People just
stay on your toes.
They cross intersections, and I'm like, why are you here? It's just
That said, I love LA.
I still
I
do.
call me
What's not
Randy
to
Newman,
love,
but
right?
I always like when I come here.
It's because Ryan does not live here.
I like Denver a lot before I moved there. No, I'm kidding. No, LA's great, and it's always good to be here. And
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been recording.
We're at.
I think it's about time to head to our next
I think-
event.
Yeah,
We
we're
have
about
another-
So we have
50
more to
minutes if
share.
we include
Event,
both
yes.
recordings.
Let's close this out with like, what is the one car that each of you have seen that will stick with you? Not, by the way, it doesn't even have to be the fanciest, the most
Yeah,
expensive, whatever.
sure.
But like, what's the one? What's the one where you would take home, regardless of cost, regardless of access?
I
Doesn't
got
matter.
two. It's
All right,
that
So you go first.
that Hyundai. Sorry, not to go ahead and get up in here and stuff like that on you guys' podcast, but that Hyundai Concept off-roader thing was actually
I
super
gotta go
rad.
check that out.
Please go check it out. And based on my prior appearance on that car show, the ZR1X is in the building, and
Hmm.
I want my two friends right over here, as well as you, Michael, who you are now my friend as well.
That's up for debate. The day's
My
not
two
over.
friends and you,
Yeah,
Lassasa.
hey, yeah, that's fine. By the way, you think that's the first time I've been excluded? Does the day end in Y?
Is that the title of the show?
Oh,
my two
God.
friends.
And
All right,
you-
guys,
and
we're
you-
in teams.
Yeah. You in the corner.
But the ZR1X.
By the way, I'm not recording this with them. I'm in the corner while they're at the table.
You're in a different room.
Yeah.
We made you sit
I'm
outside.
such an asshole for that. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm such a dick.
It's all right.
Yeah. No, I'm
not offended.
You need.
I'll cry later.
No,
That's what I have my therapist for.
no, but the ZR1X is here, and I think that it
That's
would
the
be. I mean, it's such a rad car.
Yeah.
The wing's not quite as tall as the 3RS, but it's
Okay.
as wide.
It is pretty.
It's freaking. It takes up a
Pretty
lot
cool.
of room,
yeah.
and the car. It's a really cool spec. It's like silver, with the black wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, that car ran 649 at the Nürburgring, dude. That thing is a real.
That's
ripper.
that is 30 seconds faster, I think, than a GT4, for example. 30 seconds.
30 seconds is
30 seconds. It's
a
half
long
a minute.
time.
That is a
That's-
significant difference.
My biggest question, having now seen one in person.
Yeah.
You look at that thing, it's gorgeous. You're 100% right, Jorge. And this is going to be kind of a weird tangent. The calipers, they're carbon ceramics.
Yeah.
The calipers are Alcons. They're not Brembos.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you look in this entire building, there's probably 40% of these cars. And Brembo,
Yeah.
Brembo. Everywhere you go, the aftermarket, working with OEs.
Yeah.
And they actually say Alcon on them. And that's interesting to
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
at that level. Because, by the way, you walk over to the Z06 that's 40 feet away,
Yeah.
And it's
and
got Brembos.
everything else you buy is Brembo.
Yeah. yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why? That's the kind of like little Easter egg that I
Yeah,
kind of wonder. I'd
yeah,
want to ask
yeah,
a GM engineer, like, how come you went with what was arguably a smaller manufacturer
Yeah.
on your flagship model?
Yeah.
I will get that answer.
I'd be
I'll
curious
get that
because
question answered
because by
for
the way,
you.
they
I-
even let them put. I mean, because we all
Yeah.
know about
Mhm.
branding. They let them put that. It's on
Mhm.
the.
Yeah.
It's on the caliper.
And
Yeah.
the funny thing is, and I said this to you guys when I was last on, and I've said this for a long time, even on TT, the one thing that you don't have to worry about on performance Corvettes of the last, let's call it 15 years, is their brakes.
Sure.
Because they have some of the best braking power out of any manufacturer on the planet. Like, they are like, if there was ever one thing you didn't want to worry about on a Corvette, it's those brakes every time. They're the carbon ceramics or the Steelies. And so I find it interesting, but it clearly has not made a difference in any way, shape, or form that car has its stopping power. Like, Tesla should be talking to GM engineers about their brakes
Sure.
for their
I
Plaid.
completely agree.
And now that's a shot. They should be going ahead and talking to them, because Chevy has the braking power right and whatnot. And just, again, so
I just find
curious.
it kind of it was more of a curiosity than anything.
100%.
Just given,
yeah.
what most vehicles have these days.
Right.
I mean, Porsche obviously uses Brembos exclusively.
Yep.
And it's not to throw shade at either company.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not
no,
even
no.
about that. It's just it was an interesting thing
Yeah.
out of their flagship car, and especially not a low production or it cost is no object at this point.
Yeah.
Why that caliper?
That's probably that ZR1X is. I think I told you because it's probably about a $300,000 car.
Didn't know you had such a passion for stopping.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to go ahead and if you got
Ryan is perpetual
This is
motion.
as much as we've ever spoken about brakes. I think.
yeah.
on,
Well, I mean, it's listen when you got 1,100 plus horsepower or whatever,
yeah.
and you're running under 7 at the ring, and
Yeah,
this is probably
yeah.
the fastest North American car ever built. You would like for it to stop.
This is true.
know?
Well,
So-
the irony is I'm misquoting the some of the facts, but you can't when you see a car go by when people talk about mods for cars.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's wheels, right?
Yes,
wheels are
yeah,
the first
sure,
thing
yeah,
people notice.
yeah.
Maybe it's
They're
the
easy,
color,
yeah.
they're easy, but brakes. When you go to Siemens, talk to some of
Sure,
these manufacturers, brakes is kind of they're the more expensive item, but
Sure.
something that people quickly try to
Well,
customize because they're the next noticeable thing.
absolutely.
Very much
They
so.
want, they don't care
Yeah.
about anything else
Yeah.
other than what do I look like when I'm
Yeah.
rolling down the street? And if you got a big set of brakes,
Yeah.
that must mean you have,
Yeah.
a bajillion horsepower
Yeah,
under the hood.
yeah.
So it's partially a visual mod
Yeah.
too.
I agree.
What are you taking away? If you could.
No,
take
you guys
anything?
go first. I'm gonna go last.
Okay, so I have a.
He's got something really good. He wants to
yeah,
end
not
on.
even. It's
like,
it's your
I'm
show.
gonna blow everybody else's choices out of the water.
It's actually going to be that Honda bike.
yeah, he's like.
Which they did not let me ride for the record.
No, but if they do, we will have video of that.
Yes, only because we have not signed up yet. So,
We did have to take breathalyzer tests this morning, by the way, for
we all
these
have.
drives.
Yeah.
Well, no, Ryan had an error. He didn't actually pass. Remember, she said this thing's kind of finicky.
Hey, they had really terrible breath, or
she's like, this is fine.
yeah, they'd never seen a BAC
Close
so
enough.
high at
Right.
9 a.m. But
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah. So Spark SPARQ
Yeah.
has a big display, and
Yes.
they worked with the Peterson to bring in
Yes.
some cars. And I had the chance I was with Dan, and I actually got to help open the door on the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. So that is
Jealous.
the one that I would take home.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. Guys, I saw my baby again today, the GR Corolla.
Yes.
This time in red. I have absolutely fallen
With a
head
roof
over-
rack. The
Yeah.
roof
Roof
rack
rack.
really threw me off. I was
Yeah,
talking to Jorge about that. Like,
yeah.
that feels a little,
Yeah.
that's a bridge too
I'm
far.
telling
for
you,
me.
So
man,
you
they
can
can
take
put
a skiing.
surfboards on that.
Was also a bridge too far was that had an automatic,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
I guess that's hard to money shift.
But it had that red, that beautiful red. So
yeah,
that
I-
The color.
I'm
I think
curious
for
to
the
see
money-
how
What is the
many
color?
automatics they end up selling for 25 and
no,
26.
and maybe it's wonderful. I haven't driven it yet. I will, but I really, again, for the money, for 40 grand, I walked right past the Supra. I walked.
Can
right-
you get, I mean, is there ADR
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
those?
you can get
Can you
about
get,
40
can you get them? Oh, that's,
$40,000,
that's inclusion
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
To your
Yeah.
point, Jorge,
Yeah.
like, being able to access these cars
That's-
and without a bunch of, because like ZR1s, I've already seen a handful of ZR1s
Yeah.
pop up, and they're anywhere from 100 to 200 over stick.
The
you know,
Yeah,
Toyota
no.
they're
dealership
asking.
by my house has a couple just under 40. I think they have
You'll-
it about
See,
38,
that's,
39.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
You'll
Now
have
I hope
more
someone
fun
goes in and buys
in the
them. but,
GR
like,
Corolla. You'll have more fun in the GR Corolla than you will in that Corvette. I have a mic. Can I drop it?
yes.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, we still didn't listen to you what you had to say, but yeah, that's not.
That's not
you
the
can
first
drop it all you
time.
want.
Much like you, it's not the first time.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna end this, and then we'll.
Yeah, Michael. Let's
What
hear
you
it.
got?
There will be no one who doesn't make a comment when you roll up in a Toyota Crown station wagon.
Ah,
You really
that
the one
car's
here, the one here is
bomb.
black.
Yeah.
So I think it's not
It's a
doing
little
its
slick.
service,
I liked it.
but it has a beautiful, like almost boss.
Roasted.
Yeah, baseball-y, leathery colored material.
I love
The
that
interior is
car.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
But that car, if that car was if they had brought that car out in
Yeah.
like a color you could see.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's next to two others that are in darker
Yeah,
colors, so
yeah.
you kind of gets blends in.
They
'Cause
haven't-
you miss kind of. It almost has a shooting brake feel a little bit.
You
Yeah,
didn't even know
it
this car existed, did
I
you?
didn't.
Until I pointed it out
That's
to
my
you.
point. I
Yeah,
had no idea.
Yeah.
And now he's on fire. For
yeah.
And out of anything down there, someone first off, you're not going to
Yeah.
use it in a parking lot because it's not going to look like anything else.
Yeah.
And secondly, you're going to use the hell out of it whether
Yeah.
you have kids or not
Yeah.
because it's actually useful.
And it drives great.
That
I've
I don't
spent some
know,
time in
but-
one.
Driving it.
You
Yeah,
can drive me
I
around
like-
in it like that'll be like. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be wonderful.
He's like, why else would I buy it?
when he picks me up from LAX.
I need
So-
to, yeah, exactly.
so
He's
two
like, I'll come in
Toyotas,
from Denver to
a
pick you
Chevy,
up.
and a
And
McLaren,
a McLaren SL,
Mercedes,
And the
Benz.
Hyundai concept.
Yeah.
But I will say, I hadn't seen the Crown before today either.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean about in terms of like showing it on the show floor for maximum impact. I really like it in the black, and I'm not typically a black car person, but I thought it made it look like a luxury car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it lends it,
Yeah.
the lines lend themselves well to black. And
Yeah.
I think with
By the way, so did the
it's-
Genesis G sedans that you were in the back of. That G90 was incredible.
But that was
Yeah,
a
that's
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a metallic.
It's
That's
a
almost
nice
like a
car,
BMW
too.
metallic. So
Yeah.
I
But
agree
just
with you.
wanted
But
to make
that's
sure that the Genesis got a shout out,
Yeah.
mainly because they went ahead and
Honorable mention.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, exactly. But I think it was a good, when you think about where are you spending your most amount of time with the cars on the interior, and that with the two-tone, you have like the beautiful kind of baseball glove, tobacco interior. So you get some color there. But yeah, I think like I had the Forester like last spring, and it was so useful. And I think the layout is very similar. I think it would be so useful to have.
If you ordered an Uber Black and
Yeah.
that showed up,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is garbage. It's like it's actually
It's
incredibly
fantastic.
nice.
Yeah.
The lines are really pretty.
There's
It's a
my
good-looking
two-car solution: a GR Corolla and a Crown wagon or whatever.
Is that all-wheel drive? Because it
Yeah,
is a
it's-
hybrid.
It is, and it's
Jorge
raised
and I looked
up.
at it. It's a hybrid.
I think that is a
That's a great garage, actually. I mean,
right,
like we
right,
talked about that.
right.
Was it last show?
and a
of, like,
GT4.
unique,
who needs a GT4 when you get a Toyota Crown, Jorge?
two-car solution plus the fun car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Toyota's really, really killing it right
That's
now.
the car that surprised me the most. I mean,
Yeah.
honest to God,
Yeah.
because again, to your point,
Yeah.
I knew they had Crowns, but I didn't know they had a Crown wagon.
Yeah,
No.
no,
They-
I've never seen an ad, never seen a TV spot. never
Toyota
seen-
has billboards and all over LA and TV
Yeah.
ads every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And not one of them
Not
show that car.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a mention.
Huh.
And it's actually, I would argue, one of their more useful
Yeah.
products.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, the applicate like it
The use
has
case
so
is
many.
brilliant.
Yeah, well, and there's so many. Like if you have kids, you have pets. If you're hauling
Well-
stuff,
Yeah.
like you can fold the back seats down.
we're calling this episode Toyotathon.
There we are.
friends.
There we are.
Should we wrap this up?
Let's go see
Okay.
Scout.
Well, before you hit that button, we will be away next week for the Thanksgiving holiday, doing things with friends and family. So we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take 3 of our favorite That Car Show episodes from the past, maybe some early ones, maybe some you haven't heard, for your listening pleasure. Until then, we're That Car Show.
And remember, always be driving. Thanks so much for joining us. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you the week after Thanksgiving. So we hope everybody has an amazing holiday. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.